All right, so these are some important tools that really you're going to be using kind of for everything you do, whether it's product research for Shopify, Amazon, kind of whatever, any internet kind of venture that you would participate in has these websites will give you, real value. So let's talk about ColourPop. This is one of the websites that we looked at before. It's the most popular website on Shopify, but these methods really work for any topic or site. So Alexa.com is kind of, you can think about it as like the keeper of the internet. It keeps all types of statistics of different websites, analytics, traffic related to websites. It ranks websites via the number of people who visit them, unique visitors, popularity, engagement, things like that. So Amazon purchased them a while ago. So all you have to do is come over to alexa.com/siteinfo $Q equals, and I can include this underneath the video. So basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to click find. And we are going to take a look at a few things. So we see that the global rank is 2,000th, which is absolutely insane, right? We see that they had a huge spike, but they've had sustained visitors as well. It shows you the breakdown kind of by country. Percent of visitors is about 60% for the USA, which is good for how hard you want to target and traffic your advertising, on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever the case may be. We do see, the top keywords that people enter to actually find the site. We see that people are misspelling it, right? Because it does have a U, but people are spelling it without the U, kind of the USA spelling, which is interesting as far as like what keywords that you're targeting later on for advertising. We see which sites people visit immediately before this site, so what's actually bringing them traffic, right? So we see a huge amount of traffic is coming from Google. We see a huge amount of traffic is coming from YouTube. Maybe people watching, makeup tutorials, for example, and those people might have like affiliate links to ColourPop. So it's important to know where your traffic is actually coming from, right? And so we can also see how many sites are linking to this. So this is important as far as search engine optimization. But the most important thing that I like to look at is similar websites to ColourPop. So we can see some other websites that are kind of doing the same thing. And if they think that these are similar, right? This is 20,000th in the world for websites, which is absolutely incredible because there's millions and millions of websites out there, right? And so if we go in here, we see Temptalia. And so we can take a look at all of their stuff, right? Recent reviews, all different types of makeup here. Just take a look at their overall website and get ideas to potentially add to our own store. And we can do this with anything, guys. It doesn't have to be cosmetics. It can literally be anything. So that is the first tool I wanted to talk about, Alexa. You can use it to get a lot of really good, very accurate information for free. We can see the male versus female is obviously quite skewed here. The next tool that I wanted to talk about is Google Trends. So Google Trends is an incredibly valuable tool, and it's 100% free. We can see here before we enter anything, featured insights, what people are kind of searching for and trending: Buffalo Bills, Golden State Warriors, Deshaun Watson, the quarterback of the Houston Texans, right? All different types of things, but we're not particularly interested in that. What we're interested in is, just to keep our same kind of theme going of makeup here. We see that there's really sustained kind of Google searches interest over time. So this is basically just a relative chart. So this is kind of like, think of this as like 100% interest according to Google. So they have, very consistent interest throughout the years. So we can, look at this over a longer period. We see that makeup has had, very sustained and upward trending growth since Google really started keeping track of this back in 2004. And so what I use Google Trends for is, to prove that there is sustained and consistent demand for the niche or product that I'm looking at, which is very important. You also want to kind of take a look at whether or not that product is seasonal, because it's very important to have a product that has demand throughout the whole year, right? You don't want to invest in creating a whole store and getting everything set up and getting your advertising campaign set up and automated and things like that if you're really only getting a large amount of sales only during the fourth quarter, or during Christmas or Valentine's Day or whatever it is, right? And so some people can utilize the strategy of seasonality, but for most of us, it's better to just kind of have sustained demand throughout the year. So if we want to take a look at something that might be a bit more seasonal, maybe we could look at the search term Christmas lights. And this is a perfect example, right? We see, a 1 out of 100 on the interest scale, and then, right before Christmas, October, November, December, we see 100% interest, right? And so this is an example of something that we might not want to potentially sell unless we really were only setting the store up for that one time of year, which is a viable strategy that people I'm sure are making a lot of money on. But I prefer to just spend my time kind of doing things that have sustained kind of annual year-round demand. So those are the excuse me, main uses of Google Trends. You can also, what I like to do is you can actually take a look at the UK, you can look at Canada, right? You can really hone down based on your geographic region. Let's say that you wanted to sell, pins like we were looking at before, like you wanted to sell little pins of like cats and pigs and stuff, but you only wanted to sell them in Canada. So you could do like enamel pins, and then you could, just come over here and type in Canada. And what we were just looking at was the UK, but we see, even maybe potentially even more interest in Canada. So, and we can see some interesting things here as well. So we can see, let's say that we're advertising on Facebook and we want to only sell enamel pins to Canada. So we type in Canada, we see, some upward trending growth, a lot of interest, in the recent past few months. And then what we can see also is subregions. So instead of just advertising to all of Canada, you can actually narrow it down in Google and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and whatever advertising medium you choose. You can narrow it down by subregion and by city. Right, so we see here that instead of targeting all of Canada, it would be much more fruitful for us to target only the city of Toronto, as they're have 100% interest according to Google in enamel pins. Right, we can also see related queries. So maybe we're going to target the keywords custom enamel pins, how to make enamel pins, vitreous enamel. We can see related topics, right? So there's a ton of really good data here that you can really hone down in a very user-friendly, intuitive type way. And so the last thing I want to talk about is what's called Google Keyword Planner. So if we look at Google Keyword Planner here, and Google Keyword Planner, again, is a free tool. You just have to sign up for a Google AdWords account. I think they do ask for a credit card, but they just never charge it if you don't create campaigns. So just Google search Google Keyword Planner, and you can set one up. What we can do here is we can come in and we can type enamel pins. And so all we're doing is search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category, right? It's one of them here, and then we just press Get Ideas. And again, we can do all locations, or if we only wanted to do Canada, we could just come in and type Canada and save. And it's quite easy, right? So what we do is we press Get Ideas, and then Google, from their unbelievably vast amount of data, is going to give us a bunch of other keywords here. So we can see, that we could target lapel pins, we could target custom enamel pins, custom lapel, soft enamel pins, right? And they just have an unbelievable amount of data here that we can then utilize in our own advertising to really only bring very targeted customers to our stores. And so we're going to talk about all of this, in the advertising section, super in depth. So don't feel, overwhelmed if you do not. I promise we're going to make it very simple for you guys. But, up front, when you're doing your product research, let's say you find 3 things that you're interested in. Maybe you want to do golf jewelry, or you want to do like golf rings for men or something like that, very specific. Then maybe you want to come in and type in golf jewelry, right? Because if you type in golf jewelry, this is in Canada, not the USA, so it might not be, let's do all locations. So if we type in golf jewelry, we see 12 million average monthly searches here, 9 million, a ton of searches here. Gold jewelry. Oh, so it's typing in gold jewelry. So golf jewelry, we see about 390 searches, so not a ton, right? But if we typed in golf clothing, then obviously we see 27,000 average monthly searches here. So you want to, the moral of the story here, guys, is you want to prove that there's people searching for what you're selling before you kind of invest your time into creating your store, invest your time into kind of, doing all of the things that come with it. So let's say that you decided that you wanted to sell golf jewelry worldwide, right? So you could come in here and literally in 3 seconds, you can see that they have, a ton of demand kind of in May and June, maybe during the summer months, But really we see consistent demand here, maybe a little bit downward trend, but it's coming back up. So as long as you see an average of about 50 here, you can really feel comfortable that there is sustained searches, and if there's searches, then you can capture those sales. So those are the three things I wanted to look about really quickly. Just to summarize, Alexa gives you all the analytics right about traffic, where it's coming from, similar sites. Google Trends gives you a ton of information about where people are most interested. So if you're going to sell golf clothing, obviously you'd want to spend a lot of your time selling, specifically targeting the UK or Ireland, as they're obviously very interested in golf clothing, right? And so that's a beautiful way to use Google Trends. You can really see related topics, related queries. You can see the amount of year-round demand. And then Google Keyword Planner, just to give you additional ideas of what keywords that you are going to target. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the next one.